Sponsored by Molecule. This line bears repeating. In 2016, Apple deleted the 3.5mm headphone jack. Those jerks. But at the same time, Apple also introduced AirPods, making them pretty magnificent jerks. They went on to become one of Apple's best products in years, cutting the strings on the truly wireless headphone category and jumpstarting a generation of memes. And as anyone raised on the internet knows, memes are the only way to truly measure any cultural success. In March, Apple released their second generation AirPods with the H1 chip, voice-activated Siri built in, longer talk time, and an optional inductive charging case. They made an already great product better, but it's also fair to say they took longer to come out than some people expected, and they still lacked features some people had been hoping for. So, as is always the case, the exact minute after we get something new, all our attention turns to something next. In this case, AirPods 3. Hit subscribe and repulsor blast that bell dingus so you don't miss any future breakdowns. I'm Rene Ritchie, and this is Vector. Mark Gurman, writing for Bloomberg on February 22nd, 2018, after outlining the then still upcoming AirPods 2, added this about AirPods 3. A subsequent model for as early as next year is planned to be water resistant. The idea for the water resistant model is for the headphones to survive splashes of water and rain. Now, water resistance is a big deal. While many of us, myself included, have used our AirPods out in the rain and sweated them up through all types of workouts without any real ingress protection at all, it's only a matter of time before damage accumulates, starts affecting performance, and perhaps ultimately kills the pods completely. How big a challenge gasketing and sealing up everything inside something so small and preserving it through the salt baths that are our human sweat, I don't know. But adding just that kind of protection will cut one of the few invisible strings still holding AirPods back, especially for more precipitous climates and for more grueling activities. Gurman and Bloomberg returned to AirPods 3 on June 26, 2018. The Cupertino, California-based company is working on new AirPods with noise cancellation and water resistance. Apple is trying to increase the range that AirPods can work away from an iPhone or iPad. You won't be swimming in them though. The water resistance is mainly to protect against rain and perspiration. The company has also internally discussed adding biometric sensors to future AirPods, like a heart rate monitor, to expand its health-related hardware offering beyond the Apple Watch. Noise canceling is also a big deal. I'm paranoid, so I hate the idea of being cut off from the world around me. When I use noise canceling headphones like Bose, I typically only use one side at a time. But for people way better adjusted than me, noise cancellation is incredibly important. The current AirPods are great if you want to walk or run outside and not be surprised by any cars or bikes. Not so great if you want to cancel out the noise of a plane, train, or bus, or be able to study or work effectively at school or on the job, especially in the era of open communal offices. But active noise canceling, as opposed to just noise isolation, does increase power draw, and in something as tiny as AirPods, it'll be interesting to see how Apple balances adding a new, hungry feature like that with maintaining as much battery life for listen and talk time as possible. Biometrics would be an even bigger deal. As the Apple Watch starts to take on more of the iPhone's jobs, like cellular connectivity, it's reasonable for AirPods to take on more of the Apple Watch's jobs, like health sensors. Not only would that let you work out, and maybe even one day stream music and podcasts, see my previous video on that, link in the description, with even less tech on you than a watch, it would open the door for heart rate-based authentication, even without a watch. Like I mentioned earlier this week in my iPhone XS re-review, voice-activated Siri is great with AirPods until it tells you,
"You'll need to unlock your iPhone first."
If the AirPods could also project authentication to iPhone, like Watch does to Mac, problem solved. Gurman also added rumors of an expanded product line. There are over-ear headphones coming from Apple too. Those will compete with pricey models from Bose Corp and Sennheiser. They will use Apple branding and be higher-end alternatives to the company's Beats line. Apple originally intended to introduce the headphones by the end of 2018, but has faced development challenges and is now targeting a launch as early as next year. Buds are good, buds are great, but for many people, for many occasions, you still can't beat the cans. Although Apple still owns the much more expansive Beats line, and we've already seen them announce the H1-driven AirPods Pro that are in and around the ear, and no doubt there'll be more where that comes from, it makes sense to expand the premium Apple proper lineup as well. Wearables aren't just an increasing part of Apple's revenue, they'll be a significant part of the company's future. Aaron Lee and Willis Kuh, writing for Digitimes, the randomly accurate rumor blog, on April 24, 2019. To meet challenges from rivals, Apple and its supply chain partners are looking to raise the bar by adding new features to AirPods 3, including the noise cancellation function. Noise cancellation is not a new technology, but a technology hard to harness. On the one hand, semiconductor devices can hardly work without suffering electromagnetic disturbances. On the other hand, how the structural design of the noise-forward feedback microphone can be done well to achieve harmonious operation with other devices is a great challenge for designers and assemblers. Guomingqi, Supply Chain Information Exfiltrator Extraordinaire, also on April 24, 2019, via Mac Rumors. We expect Apple will likely launch 2 new AirPod models in the fourth quarter of 2019 at the earliest. One is the all-new form factor design at a higher price. The other's outlook and price will be the same as the current models. A common internal design factor of these 2 new AirPods will be to abandon the current SMT plus RFPCB design and change to adopt the SIP design instead for improving assembly yield rates, saving internal space, and reducing cost. SIP is system in package. It's what Apple Watch uses to cram even more components into even less space than the SoC, or system on a chip and additional connected components used in bigger devices like phones or tablets. It's unclear if the new, more expensive form factor Quo references is the over-the-ear headphones Mark Gurman talked about last year, or simply a more premium in-ear design. I suspect more the former than the latter. Given what we got and didn't get with the second generation AirPods, and beyond the rumors, there are a few other features that would go a long way towards making the next AirPods even more next-gen. More physical controls are still high on many people's lists. Apple has already added different options for the accelerometer tap on existing AirPods, and let you split the control so tapping one AirPod can do something completely different than tapping the other. Direct volume control, though, still isn't available. So I don't know, maybe Apple could add a capacitive layer to the circumference, similar to what they just added to the Apple Pencil 2 to switch tools. Then maybe you could just swipe up to increase and swipe down to decrease volume. And it would be one less reason to even reach for your watch or your phone anymore. Also, one size really doesn't fit all, and for anyone who wants to use AirPods but simply can't because of the fit, that's a real letdown. My own ears have been mangled by a decade of Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, so while the left one fits perfectly, the right one is still always just a little looser. I don't know if Apple could tweak the shape or the material to hit an even wider range of people, or if they could offer a truly in-ear alternative for those who really need it. But something, because like I said before, AirPods really should be for everyone. Also, sure, the color. Powerbeats Pro are coming in black, ivory, navy blue, and moss green, but AirPods are still only available in classic, iconic iPod white. There's a lot of cachet in that color, but in the age of iPhone XR, there's also a lot of limitations. If the new high-end AirPods stick to white, maybe a newly, more accessibly priced set of AirPods could get their Apple Chromatics on. Maybe other sensors as well, beyond just heart rate. An altimeter makes a lot of sense for workouts. What else? I'm not sure. Probably nothing like Molecule, at least not for a good long time. Molecule has technology that's capable of destroying air pollutants at a molecular level. It's technology that's been verified by science, but more importantly, it's been tested by real people in the real world. And that's what makes it compelling to me. Molecule helped allergy and asthma sufferers around the country better cope with their conditions and significantly reduce their symptoms. I bought mine about 5 months ago. I got it after friends in Silicon Valley showed me the meter results of how well it was working during the wildfires. I'm just using it for allergens, but so far, so good. To get yours, go to molecule.com. That's MOLEKULE.com and enter Vector at checkout to save $75. Thanks, Molecule, and thanks to all of you for supporting the show. Apple originally sold AirPods as close to cost as they could, giving up margin to help push the technology. Yeah, I know a lot of people still find them expensive, but you aren't paying for the sound. You're paying for all the truly wireless technology and sensors packed inside. No regular wired headphones have anything even closely like that. And that's why I'm hoping if Apple does go up to the premium end with AirPods, they also do what they did with iPad and match it with new lower-end models as well. That way, people who want the best audio and fullest feature set can get it, and those who just want really great, truly wireless headphones can get those for less. At least that's what I think. I'd love to hear what you think. What do you want to see from AirPods 3? Hit like if you do, subscribe if you haven't already, and then hit up the comments and let me know. Thank you so much for watching, and see you next video.